The Proper Take.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of The Proper Take. It's Tuesday, the 5th of April today. Getting closer to the end of the NBA regular season. So we got a lot of games coming up today that are vital within the race. Only 2 more days until baseball starts. Yes, can't wait. Is, like I said, one of my favorite sports to bet on, as well as watch. Like I said, when you got 5 games going on at the same time, it makes it more interesting, that's for sure, because there's always a pitch going on. So let's get on to today's game, shall we? First game's up is going to be the 76ers at the Pacers. Philly are 11-point favorite in this one. The Pacers are healthy as they've been for a while, while the 76ers are pretty much fully healthy. Pacers have lost 7 in a row. 76ers have won their last 2. Pacers did win their only previous meeting with these two. If the 76ers win, though, they can go above the Bucks and tie with the Celtics for second in the East. That's if the Bucks lose. So there is some juice there for the 76ers, as to why they would want to win this game. 11.5-point favorite. And we go on to the Cleveland Magic game. So Cavs versus the Magic. Cavs are sitting in 7th, 2 games back off the Bulls. So they'll be looking to close the gap so they won't have to play in the play-in tournament. Magic have got a couple of players out of this one. So you'd expect Cleveland to win. Will they cover the spread? Not sure. But they should. Then you got the Rockets at the Nets. Rockets are a 17-point underdog. I don't think Nets have been a 17-point favorite this year. They've got no Seth Curry and no Dragic in this one. The Nets can only move position in the playoff tournament. They're 1 game behind the Hawks, so if they do move up, they won't have to play 2 elimination games. So that will be important for them. 17 points is a lot of points, but, I mean, they can do it. I just hate betting on a team that doesn't have really much of a defense to cover by 17 points. The next game up is the Hornets at the Heat. The Hornets are a 5.5-point underdog in this one. The Heat are trying to hold on to number 1 spot in the East to claim home advantage the whole way through the Eastern playoffs. A win today will probably do that for them. The Hornets are in the same position as the Nets, exactly the same amount of games won and lost. So they're looking to move up also in that play-in. The Hornets are healthy with the Heat, having quite a few players on game time decision, but I'm pretty sure most of them will be good to go in this one. In Miami, I'm just surprised. I mean, that they're only a 5.5-point favorite, but it could be down to those players as game time decisions. That spread might move more in the favor of Miami closer to the game gets if those players are clear to go. At this point, I would probably take Miami in that one. The Hawks versus the Raptors. This is a big game for both teams as far as positionally goes. As mentioned before, both Hornets and the Nets are waiting for the Hawks to slip up so they can jump up in the playoff, in the play-in tournament. A loss for the Raptors and a Bulls win, they move down to 6, where they could be matched up against, a Milwaukee Bucks or a Celtics in the first round. So Raptors will want to stay away from that. So both these teams, not a must-win, but they would like to win this one. And then we've got the Milwaukee Bucks against the Bulls. Bucks have lost their last 2 games and need a win to move back up to second in the standings. Bulls have lost their last 3 against the Bucks. As we know, they haven't really beat a big team this year. This game is in Chicago. You're definitely gonna Bulls are definitely gonna want to win. There's probably a little bit more than Milwaukee for positional purposes. Milwaukee, I don't feel like they don't really care who they have to play, and they don't really care too much about home advantage either. They are a real confident team that looks like whoever they're going to play, they'll think they've got a good chance of winning. The Wizards against the Timberwolves. A win from the Wolves and a loss from the Jazz tonight would move them tied in 6 with a chance to not have to play in the play-in. So this is definitely a want-to-win game from the Timberwolves. As we know, Wizards, not going to matter what happens there. The Wizards did beat them in their only previous game this season. But that was at a different time of the year for the Timberwolves. As we know, since the All-Star break, they've been pretty good. Then we go into the Blazers versus the Thunder. Blazers lost their last 7 games. Thunder did just upset the Suns, of course. As far as the standard goes, this is a nothing game. So we're going to be staying away from that. The Spurs are at the Nuggets. You think if Spurs win this, they would pretty much solidify their place in the play-in tournament, and Lakers would be for sure out. Denver, not much movement for them, win or lose in this one. So 9 points is a lot for Denver in this, for me. As you could tell, I'm leaning towards the Spurs covering that at least. Potentially, possibly winning it. And then we got the Grizzlies at Utah. 5.5 point favorite is the Jazz. Considering they've lost their last 6 or 7. Grizzlies are second and nothing can change that. But I feel like that hasn't stopped the Grizzlies from playing like they need a win. They're on a 7-game win streak. But if Jazz lose this one, they could well send them into the playoff tournaments if the Timberwolves win. So the Jazz are definitely going to be more hyped up to win this. Grizzlies still have no Ja Morant. I think Dylan Brooks is also out of this one. But as I said, they had, 7 starters out of that game against the Suns and still beat them. So can't put anything past Coach Jenkins. As I said countless times, Coach of the Year for me. Then we move on to the Pelicans, who are an 8-point favorite against the Kings. A win from the Pelicans will confirm their place in the play-in. Kings, and nothing game for the Kings. And then we got the Lakers plus 13 versus the Suns. Who would have thought the Lakers would be plus 13 in any game coming into this season? But hey, it just says everything about their game, about their season. LeBron is out for the Lakers. A loss today, and they are also out of the playoffs. A healthy Suns coming off a 2-game losing streaks. We surely want to put an end to that. Go into the playoffs with a little bit of a win streak. So a win today for the Suns will put an end to what has been a miserable, terrible, horrible season for the Lakers. So that's what we've got in the NBA. As far as the NHL goes, the Eastern Conference is sewn up as far as a playoff, who's getting in and who can't make the playoffs. Just moving around in standings right now there. The Western Conference is where all the action's out. There's like a 5-6 team that are fighting for that playoff position. So here we got the Predators and the Stars and the Oilers playing tonight that need to win. The Predators are playing against the Minnesota Wild. in Nashville. The Stars are playing in Dallas against the Islanders. And the Oilers are playing in San Jose against the Sharks. The Stars and Oilers are for sure favorites. The Predators might be a pick-em kind of game against the Wild. The Wild have been on a real good win streak, though, of late. So it's pretty much the key games in NHL. As far as our picks of the day goes, let's get on to our picks, shall we? Just looking at the hockey games, see if we like any over there. Do like the Florida Panthers against the Maple Leafs. Maple Leafs played last night. Had a good game against Tampa, won 6-2, I believe it finished. Panthers really looking to play better lately. They, for being one of the favorites to win the Stanley Cup, I feel like the last 10 games, they haven't been great. So they'll be looking to get a win here. 12 games left in the NHL season for most teams. And in the NBA, I don't know if you could tell from the way we were talking, but I am going to be taking the Spurs +9 as my pick of the day in the NBA. If you want to know more, you can always contact us on IG at the Vegas Underdog and ask us any questions you might have. But as of today, that's our picks. Spurs +9, Panthers money line in NHL. Hope you guys have a great day of betting, and we'll see you next time.